Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. So today I want to talk to you about why I decided to migrate my project to Supabase as the backend for my dating app from MongoDB. As a solo startup founder, I have to learn how to prioritize my time effectively. Day Night Prototype started off as a simple app that I made by following a YouTube tutorial, and I can link that tutorial down in the description below if you're interested in taking a look at that. So after months of work, adding features to it, validation, user research, I realized quickly how complicated building the whole entire backend would be. So when it's time to research more about what are the options out there for integrating a backend, I decided to migrate to Supabase. Now, what seems like a simple dating app does come with its own complexity. We have to deal with user validation, file storage, real-time messaging, API security, and scaling considerations when we do have a user base. Building all these features from scratch means putting in months of work into the backend instead of us focusing on what's more important, which is the user experience and the business itself. So if I were to do it again, if I were to start another startup today, I think I would have given a bit more consideration when it comes to the backend infrastructure. I would have not taken all this time trying to build out my own authentication system, my own file upload system, etc. There are so many wonderful backend as a service provider out there, such as Supabase and also like Firebase. But these are the things that you don't know as a beginner developer until you start working on your projects and you learn that there are options. Okay, so today I will explain to you the 3 reasons why Supabase is the perfect solution for your MVP, what it is, how it can help your business scale, and how secure it is when it comes to a backend provider. Here we go. So, if you were to Google Supabase, you will learn that it is a open source backend as a service provider that is a competitor to Firebase. What that essentially means is that it comes with a complete set of tools and infrastructure such as a database, authentication, edge function, storage, just to name a few, for you to essentially host your app. So you connect the client, which is the user, the design, to the backend, and it takes care of all of the grunt work for you. And having all of these features quickly integrated to your MVP is so important because as a solo developer or a startup founder, you're so limited on resources and time, and building all of these features from scratch would take months. And I've tried doing that. I'm not doing it again. There are options out there for us to get up and going quickly. Okay, and these are enterprise solutions that are robust and secure that we can leverage. So I think the one mistake that developers have when they start their own project is they think they have to code everything from scratch. And this is, I mean, it's great for learning, but as someone who loves building products and wants to get up and going quickly so that I can test my hypothesis, so that I can validate my idea quickly, I need a solution like Supabase. Okay, we're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to start a business, to get a product out into the world and see if it's viable and useful. Okay, now we know that Supabase has all of these features available to us. I'm going to show you what I used to do before compared to what I get to do now in the code. So as you can see here, we have a dating app that has all the basic features of a CRUD application. Messages, We have a matching system where you can like or skip a user. We have a events page where there are events that we have to fetch from the database. So all of these little features are sending requests to the backend, and every time you click on something, that's a request, right? So all of this you have to take into consideration that you have to build that out yourself, and that's exactly what I did before. So for example, let's log out. Right here is where we create an account, right? Where you sign up, where you enter your email, your password, and you create your account. And the sign up logic that I have in the code right now is right here. Okay, I want you to take a look at this line. So you're sending a request to Supabase, their auth provider, and you are calling their sign up function. Okay, and this is all you need. What I had, so before, when I was coding the backend in MongoDB, this is my sign up logic. Okay, so from line 108 to 161, okay, that's about 40 to 50 lines of code. You can see here that I have to send a request to the server, fetch the user in the MongoDB. Not only that, but I had to send a verification token, because without the correct token, the server will not let me access that the database. What's great is that all of that logic, I don't have to take care of it anymore, because Supabase already handled it for us from now on. Okay, they handle all the security, all the authentication, and the policies in the background. So we just have to focus on creating the front end request. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the Supabase community and who they are as a company and how they can help us scale. Okay, so one of the most attractive thing about Supabase is that their products and their business is built on open source tools and community. Supabase uses Postgres as the database, and as some of you know, Postgres is a relational database management system that has been powering the backend of the web for over 35 years. The version of Supabase that I'm using is the free version, which costs only $0 per month. Their free tier is probably one of the best pricing tier for a SaaS company that you can get. $0 per month gets you unlimited API requests, 50,000 monthly active users, and 1 gigabyte of file storage. Now, I'm using the free version because my MVP does not have any reviews right now. Okay, we're still testing the product, and we're still designing. We still have a couple of features that we need to design before we start to acquire users to test it. But this is amazing because they're not charging you to get things up and going. Okay, and when you start scaling, the next tier is $25 per month, and your monthly active users increase to 100,000. And as you can see, everything else get increased too. And you also get email support and daily backup. Personally, I have no problem paying $25 per month for all of the features and all of the value that Supabase is giving us, because if you take a look at everything they have built in the backend here, this is so valuable, and I don't think I could build this myself, especially with one person. So the amount of value that I get from this product is tremendous, and I have no problem spending $25 per month when it comes to it, to be able to leverage this whole entire ecosystem. And I think you would feel the same way. Startup grows and you're making money, you're gonna have to start paying more to Supabase, because they're in the business to make money too, you know. And if you're not happy with their pricing tier, you are welcome to self-host the entire ecosystem, because once again, the whole entire product is open source, right? So you can just go on GitHub and fork your own version of Supabase, host everything, and still uses the platform. Like, how amazing is that? But keep in mind that hosting your own version of Supabase, can come with its own set of problem, right? You have to worry about hosting. You have to worry about bugs. Maybe some features could be missing, updates. So it's really up to you, and really up to your skill set if you're willing to take on that challenge. But for me, I have no problem using their cloud hosted version. And also, like, I want to support this company because I want to see them succeed. So it's a win-win for me. Once again, the whole point of using Supabase as the backend provider is that so we don't reinvent the wheel, right? So we have to code all of these features from scratch. So I highly recommend that you give the cloud-based solution a try before you try to self-host it yourself. Because I think that once you start using the cloud-based solution, you're not gonna want to self-host it. Okay, so the last thing on our list today is I want to talk to you about why Supabase is SOC 2 compliant. What does that mean for you as a customer, and how secure the platform is. So SOC 2 is a compliance security standard developed to rank all SaaS companies on 5 trust criteria. That includes security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Since Supabase is providing backend service to small scale startup, but also because now they've grown to provide their service to enterprise customers, it's important that they are becoming SOC 2 compliant. So on my end, since I'm developing a dating app that handles very sensitive customers' data, such as private messaging, private videos, location access, we do take into consideration all of these metrics when it comes to choosing Supabase as our backend provider. As a reminder, the mission at Day-Night is to help build trust between our users and our vendors so they can safely meet for dates at real events, at real businesses. Having Supabase also share the same values is so important, and it's awesome that all of the security protocols are built into the platform. So here are some security features that you can expect from Supabase. So because Supabase is leveraging Postgres database, row-level security is built into the platform. So what is RLS? So think of RLS as a kind of like a smart bouncer at a club. He checks your ID before he lets you inside to meet other people, and he makes sure that you don't do anything to harm yourself or to harm other people. So for example, if we go into our policies for our users, there's a bunch of policies that I've set up. For example, users can view profiles. Users can view other onboarded users' profile. So this policy lets users view another user's profile, but only if they've onboarded and they have gone through the sign up process. So that means they can't just sign in and look at all of the profile, whichever profile they want, right? So sometimes we have certain user with different permission, like paid users, and they can only access certain profile, for example. Another security measure that is built into Supabase are JWT web tokens. So every time you try to send a request to the server, for example, when you're sending a message, when you are trying to upload a picture, when you are anything that has to do with you fetching or inserting or deleting data, the server are requesting a token from you to verify your identity. So back to our nightclub example, think of a token as a wristband that it will let the club know if you've paid for your ticket and which section you're supposed to be in. Are you in the regular section or do you belong in the VIP section? Now, JWT tokens are a web security standards when it comes to fetching data between the client and the server through an API. So it is built into Supabase. So guys, to conclude, the choice to go with Supabase will help my product to scale appropriately without trying to reinvent the wheel and to build features that we don't necessarily need. If you are a new startup or solo founder, I highly recommend you consider Supabase as your backend as a service provider, so you can focus more on what matters the most to your business, which is the user experience and the product. As your business grows, I believe that Supabase can grow with you and it can scale with you. It gives you the flexibility of open source, but also as an enterprise cloud-based solution that you can rely on. So just remember guys, the goal is not to get stuck in decision paralysis. The goal is just to dive right in and just start building things right away. And there are so many solutions out there that can help you get up and going quickly. So give Supabase a shot and let me know in the comment below if it works for you and what you are building. I'm curious, are you building another dating app? Are you building a marketplace? Are you building a app for real estate? And what tools are you using? So comment below and I'll see you next time in the next video.